Well, hi guys, hi YouTubers, hope you're all okay out there. I just thought I'd do I was just having a spontaneous thought, and I was thinking about something that happened to me on Halloween night, of all nights, Halloween night. Now I don't celebrate Halloween. I know exactly what All Hallows is all about, and it's wicked and it's evil, and so I have nothing to do with it. So anyway, this particular Halloween night, because of where I am, it was really quiet. I mean, dead quiet, deadly quiet actually, because I always park in very quiet places. And I was getting a little bit bored. I've got a problem with my foot. It's nearly healed, by the way. Now it's supposed to take 8 weeks, and it's only been 2 weeks, so I'm really pleased about that. So I thought, what can I do? I thought, I feel like doing something. I'll do something. So I thought I'd go and dispose of my rubbish. Now I put my rubbish in bags like this. I buy these bags, and they got drawstrings on the end. This is my laundry, okay? And I had 2 of those, and I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll go and stick them in a bin at the other side of the industrial estate, because a lot of the companies have massive great bins, and when the trucks come to empty them on a Tuesday, it seems to be, a lot of them don't have anything in them. So I think, well, I'll take advantage of that, and I'll stick my rubbish, my domestic rubbish, in there. And if I can't find a bin, I'll just take it to the local dump on my scooter. So anyway, where I am at the moment, you can even go along the main road, or you can take a left and you can go down a kind of like a country lane, which is where people walk their dogs. So I took a left and went down a country lane, and then you carry on, and it kind of like cuts through the back of the industrial estate, and then you take a right at the end, and there's like 2 big bins that are nearly always empty, just all have a bit of cardboard or some where the cleaners come at night, and they've a couple of black rubbish bags. So anyway, I thought, oh, great, cool. I got off my bike, took my helmet off, put the bike on the stand, centre stand, grabbed the 2 bags, put them in the bin, and as I came back to my scooter, I put my helmet on, and I already had my gloves on, not my ski gloves. I just heard a load of teenagers from one side of me on the corner, and I could tell that they were drunk, and I could hear the bottles, and I could hear the banter, and the noise that teenagers make when they're getting drunk, okay? And there was quite a lot of them, but they were quite a long way from me. So subconsciously, in a streetwise kind of way, I thought, well, I better just get out of here, because they're kids, and kids throw bottles, and they get a little bit boisterous and all that kind of stuff. Being Halloween as well, strange things happen. So on my scooter, I've got the starter switch inside where you put the helmet underneath the seat. It just makes it a little bit more difficult to steal, okay? Because they can get to the ignition, but then they've got to find the switch for the starter, because I don't have a kickstart. I took that off. Now, as bad luck would have it, as I had lifted the seat up, I turned the key for the ignition, went into the underneath the seat, because I had my gloves on. It's a little switch. It's like a little plastic toggle switch, a rocker switch, not a toggle switch. And it's also, as bad luck would have it, it's got a loose connection. But I understand it. I just push and click at the same time. It's one of those little glitches that we all have, and we all know how to get around. Anyway, as I've gone into the back of the seat, I'm fumbling with my big fat gloves on to find the little delicate switch, and I've heard this, "Go, Steve! Get him!" And I knew immediately what was happening without even looking. I didn't look to the left, didn't look to the right, didn't look up. I just knew I had to get my bike started and get it started quick. And I knew I had my big fat gloves on, so I couldn't be. I knew I had to be gentle with it, because I could just pull one of the thin wires off. So without even thinking about it, with this hand I found it, and then with this finger I started it and pushed the wires on. Started the bike, jumped on the bike, just twist and go. It's it's twin port injection. It does go. It goes quick. And as I went, then I looked. When I knew that I was on I looked over my left-hand shoulder, just to see a really huge guy, like a type of a semi-professional rugby player, but in a teenager's body, sort of like, I don't know, I suppose 18, 19. Legging it, I mean, running fast, I mean, really fast, the sort of speed I would have run at his age. And he was big. He had a chest, and he was tall. I didn't look for too long, because I needed to see where I was going. And obviously, as I'm accelerating away, he's realised he's given up the ghost, and he's started to slow down. And I've looked away, and I've just carried on going. I've got to the end of the junction, and I thought, I actually said words stronger than this to myself, but I thought, bloody hell, what the bloody hell was going on there? And I was well away from them then. I stopped at the junction, and I looked back up at them, and they're all sort of chanting, going, woo, 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 woo. And I thought, hang on a minute, that guy was running at me at full speed. What was he going to do, come up and shake my hand? No, I'll tell you what he was going to do. He was going to give me a haymaker. A haymaker is when, it's a horrible expression, but it's what happens. I've read about it and I have unfortunately seen it in high streets on a drunkard night. It's when somebody runs as fast as they can and they just stick their fist out and they just knock you, basically, people have died from it. They knock you always senseless. And then I thought, well, why would he do that, and what's he going to do? And what I think was going to happen, he was going to give me a haymaker, and he was going to take my scooter, because there's fields over the other side of the country road. Kids love scooters. I'll be honest with you, when I was a teenager, well, a little less than a teenager to be honest, when I was at secondary school, we stole a couple of bikes. We took them over the woods. I used to live near woods and stuff when I moved out of London. So I know how kids think. I know how teenagers think. They've got undeveloped minds in a man's body, in a strong body. Do not underestimate youth. Youth is strong. Before I'd even done a man's day's work, I could lift a curbstone above my head before I'd even done a man's day's work. So I don't underestimate youth. And plus their wires, their connections aren't fully done yet. So they don't reason in the same way as an adult does. And even adults are dangerous. So, you know, I went off on my way. This is kind of like, I'm just telling you, what I'm trying to get to I think here, is apart from the fact that had I not got my bike started, or if I'd have panicked, or I hadn't been streetwise and pulled that switch off, I would have been in a lot of trouble. I'd have been, and oh, by the way, that was at the time when I couldn't put any weight on my foot. Absolutely no weight at all. I was completely disabled. So all I could have done is got round the other side of the bike, taken my helmet off and defended myself as best I could. And I don't think I could have, because the 15 other lads would have come down behind him. And I just don't even want to really think about what I think could have happened that night, but I don't think it was going to end very well for me. And what I want to say, the moral of the story is, you never, ever, ever know where trouble's coming from. If somebody had said to me before I left, say like a girlfriend or a friend in my motorhome, might be careful because I think you're going to get in trouble down there. I said, oh, don't be silly, there's nothing there. It's empty. It's a ghost town. There's nothing there. Nothing like, don't worry, nothing will happen to me. I would have put £1 million on, nothing would have happened to me down there. And look what happened. And anything could have happened and gone all kinds of ways, but thank Jesus I got away, and thank God I've got a fast little scooter, because that guy was motoring, he was going, and he wasn't far from me either. So I just want to say, I just want to share that story and get it off my chest a bit, and just to let you say, keep your eyes open, because we're living in wicked times, and the Bible says that the times are getting darker, man's heart is growing colder, and you never know what's around the corner. So just keep your ears open, keep your eyes open, but most of all, trust Jesus and enjoy life. God bless you all.